Hi, and thanks so much for joining in. I'm Anna Hellman, and I'm really glad you're here today. Today, I want to share a project with you that is part of a blog hop that I am participating in, and the theme is Say What, with an emphasis on the sentiment. So I want to show you a project today using a couple of my favorite new stamps and several different techniques and tips that will hopefully help you in your crafting. So first, we are going to use this beautiful butterfly stamp. That is the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set. And it comes as just one big stamp that stamps 6 different butterflies. So I want to stamp this onto a card front piece that measures 4 by 5 1/4. Now let me show you, if I put this right up here in the corner and I try to mount this, my butterflies are going to be off center. They won't go to the right edge or the top edge, and I just think it will look a little bit funny. So what I want to do is hold it out here a little bit farther. I'm going to lay that butterfly stamp on top where I want it to stamp. Then I'm going to use a little bit of washi tape and just tear a few small pieces and attach my card front to the grid paper that I have laid down. So I'll do this in a couple of spots, try and hold it in place. And if you ever have problems with washi tape tearing your paper when you lift it up, then you may want to just touch that sticky side a few times with your hands just to remove a little bit of that sticky. Okay, so I have my grid paper down, I have my card front laid where I want it, the butterfly stamp on top. I have my card front taped in those gaps between the butterflies so that it will stay in place. And now I am going to ink this, and I'm going to do some fun color techniques here. So I'm going to use Highland Heather ink. I absolutely love purple, and for that reason I decided I am going to do this card all in purples. And actually I want this to be a little bit lighter in color than the Highland Heather. So what I'm going to do is bring in a piece of scrap paper. I'll pull this out for a second, pull this one in. I'm going to stamp off. With this big stamp, you really want to press all over. So I stamped off that extra ink. Now I'm going to bring this back in because I really want this to be a nice, very, very light lavender. The reason is because we will be putting the greeting directly on top of this. Okay, and that is exactly what I was hoping for. A beautiful and really lightly colored lavender color for those butterflies. Now I'll clean this off quickly. We will need to use it again here in a few minutes. So I'll clean it off so that it's ready for that. With my chamois, I absolutely love my chamois. If you haven't used a chamois to clean your stamps, I really encourage you to try it out. Now I'm bringing in this greeting from the Happiest of Birthdays set. And I chose this for today's project because of the emphasis on the greetings. These are some of my favorite birthday greetings right now. I love this wishing you the happiest of birthdays because it's so big. I love big and bold greetings. And when you have a big, bold greeting, it really cuts back on the effort you need to put in the rest of your card and the time, because that takes so much attention up of the card, and you just need a little bit extra in the background with your big greeting. The other one I love in this, because I don't always get birthday cards sent on time. For those of you who do, I admire you. Is this happy little bit late birthday, and I'm going to use that one on the inside here in a minute. So I have this back in place. I can lay this wherever I want. I am going to put it down here at the bottom right. Bring my plate over and mount it. And for my first stamp, I'm going to use that same color, that Highland Heather, and stamp that. Now, that did not ink perfectly down here in this area, so I could ink it up again and stamp again, but since I am going to add some other colors, I'm not really particularly concerned because that's not going to show up here in a little bit. Now, I am going to use my purple colors getting darker as we go, and I just inked this up with Gorgeous Grape. beautiful purple color. But I only inked up to basically the top of the words you, the. And I don't want to have a stark line there between the colors. So I'm going to use a sponge just to blot it off a little bit. Stamp again. So now down here at the bottom, it gets a little bit darker. I always do this from light to dark, and since I'm doing it this way, I'm not worrying about cleaning off my stamp. But if I would do a dark color of ink and then a lighter color of ink, I would definitely want to clean my stamp off first so I don't get that darker ink on my lighter ink pad. Now this next color I'm using is Rich Razzleberry. And last but not least, at the very bottom, I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss. And of course, this whole time you want to make sure that your grid paper is staying in place. Or you could choose to tape this directly to the base of your Stamparatus, and that would be fine too. But look at that, we stamped that several times. We got a perfect image because it did not shift at all, even though we stamped that several times. So I'll move that out of the way. I'll remove the card base from the grid paper, and then we will go ahead and stamp the inside of the card quickly. I just want to stamp a greeting and one of the butterflies. So I'll open this up for the inside of the card. And I just want one butterfly down in the corner. So I am going to mount this a little bit different than I normally would. But I'll mount it like this. We'll ink this up. And I don't really need to ink the whole thing because I'm just going to stamp this one butterfly right here in the corner. So we have that. Now let's get our greeting for the inside. This happy little bit late birthday. It's also a nice large one. Now for this one, we can go ahead and put this back in the corner. Get that mounted up. Get my paper back in place. And for this one, I'm going to use that darker ink. I'm going to use the Gorgeous Grape. Okay, so there's the inside of our card. Now we'll fold this back shut and add the card front piece that we already created to it. So here is our card front, and I just think that turned out really pretty. Just a single layer of paper, and here you can see I did get a tiny bit of tearing from that washi tape. So like I said, make sure you use your fingers and touch the sticky side a few times to try to remove a little bit of that sticky so that it does not tear. So I like to pop these up when I have a really basic card front. Pop it up with some dimensionals. Grab my Take Your Pick tool, which is really handy to remove those paper backing pieces. And if I can get this centered. Okay, we'll put that right on there. So look how simple and pretty that is, but we've used a few different techniques, a few different tips that hopefully will help you in your stamping. And now I need to decide if I want to add some embellishments. I pulled a few out prior to starting that I thought might look nice with this card. I have some of these colored dots. I also have these cute little felt flowers from our Flower and Cactus product medley. I had to check the name there. So, debating if I want to add in a few little felt flowers or if I just want to stick with a few dots. And I think I'm going to grab one of the other flowers. This one doesn't have much stitching on. Some of these others have more stitching. I think I'm going to stick with the ones that have a little bit more stitching and just add these 3. So grab some multi-purpose glue, drop a little bit on there. And finish this card off because it's all in the details. We love to finish it off with some nice little embellishments. Okay, so here is a really pretty purple card for anybody out there who loves purple, made with our Happiest of Birthdays in Butterfly Brilliance set. Thanks so much for joining in. You can find links to the products that I've used in the video description below. You can also find a link to my blog to find more information on this project. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the little bell to get notifications anytime I share new content. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again next time.